What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we're going to go over why NIO is actually trading quite a bit higher than they closed on Friday. And I'm also going to touch on 3 big reasons that you may want to consider loading up and buying more NIO stock, especially on this short-term weakness that they're showing right now. But before we actually get into the video, for those of you who are new here, my name is Evan and I make videos showing you guys different ways of making money in the stock market. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind going down and hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it, and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these video updates every day. So again, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it. But for NIO's share price today, they're actually trading right under $50 as of right now, and they're actually up almost 9% on the day. And I'm sure most of you guys have followed the markets pretty closely, especially last week, and you probably are aware of the fact that a lot of these EV companies and just tech stocks in general saw a big dip last week. Now myself and a lot of other YouTubers mentioned that it's a good time to load up on stocks when they see these red weeks. And that's exactly what we all said, and I don't think that was bad advice, because now we're starting to see a lot of these stocks start creeping back up again. But it's not like they're going back up to their all-time highs, especially NIO. We know NIO's hit over $60 in the past. And in my last video, I said anything under $60 as of right now, especially during this dip and this weakness right now, I would be adding shares to your portfolio, especially if you have a relatively high average share price. Now, you guys know I'm not a financial advisor and I can't advise you to do that, but personally that's what I would be doing if I had a high average share price. But now moving on to the 1 week chart, and NIO is up just over 9, and again you can see it's been a pretty rough past week of trading. NIO had really only reached about $52 at their high in the past week. And early last week, NIO actually pulled back into the 30s, and they were trading around $39 at one point. So especially from that point, NIO is actually starting to recover pretty nicely, and being up about 9% on the 1 week chart, I'm really not complaining, and I don't think you guys are complaining either, especially if you loaded up and bought shares last week when they saw that short-term weakness. But you guys might be wondering why NIO is actually trading higher today, and this is actually due in part to their CEO, William Li, who confirmed plans to enter the European market later this year. And you guys have probably heard rumors that NIO wants to expand to Europe at some point in this year, but it was really never confirmed until this point. And it says here that William bin Li said that NIO plans to begin selling vehicles in Europe in the second half of 2021. And this is according to a report from Chinese media outlet bitauto.com. And NIO is also planning to enter the global markets next year, according to the same report. So not only is NIO going to be expanding to Europe by the end of this year, which I'm sure a lot of people were already anticipating, but now it's somewhat set in stone because NIO's CEO actually confirmed it. And this confirmation came after there was actually a hint dropped by William Li in January, and that was when he said that the navigation map in NIO's ET7 show car gave a clue about their export plans. And while it is hard to tell, the reports suggest that the map shows a location in Norway. So we may be expecting NIO to expand to Norway at some point next year. And I don't even think that would come as a surprise, because NIO wouldn't be the only one expanding to Norway. And the reason for this is because Norway is actually the country with the highest rate of electric vehicle adoption in the world. And slightly over half of new vehicles sold in Norway last year were electric vehicles. And this was also up from 42% in 2019. And the reason why I say it wouldn't be surprising if NIO expanded to Norway in the next year or so is because XPeng, which is NIO's rival, actually began sales of their SUV in Norway back in December. So while those are a couple good reasons to buy NIO as of right now, even with this dip, there are 3 big reasons why you may want to consider buying NIO, aside from them expanding to Europe and to possibly Norway in the next year or so. And so one of the big reasons that you should actually consider buying NIO stock at this time is because there's actually rising rates of fear among the stock market, and this is spooking a lot of investors. Now specifically, this is really targeting stocks like NIO that are growth stocks, but this is all going to blow over pretty soon, and it's going to pass, and without inflicting too much damage, we're going to start seeing NIO and these other growth stocks start climbing back up again. And we've seen this in the past. This isn't the only time we've seen pullbacks like this from NIO and other tech companies. And I'm sure most of you guys know that NIO is more of a long-term play. While they have seen huge jumps in their share price in very short amounts of time, NIO and the entire electric vehicle market are going to be substantially bigger than they are right now. And just looking at Norway themselves, like I mentioned earlier, over half of their vehicles sold last year were electric vehicles. When you compare this to other companies like the US and China, for example, Norway looks huge in comparison when you look at the ratio of vehicles to people. And so if China and the US can get anywhere near that, NIO, Tesla, and these other electric vehicle companies are really going to take off, and they're going to be worth substantially more than they are right now. And this kind of segues into the next point, and that's that NIO stock is fundamentally undervalued at $50 relative to their long-term earnings growth potential in the global electric vehicle market. And while there are a lot of investors that argue that NIO's share price has priced in future growth, and while I wouldn't necessarily argue against that, I don't think it's easy to price in how big electric vehicles really are going to be in the future. Because I can actually give you a great example that shows how much people are anticipating that electric vehicle stocks are going to increase. And this is the fact that NIO is actually ranked number 3 in top auto manufacturers. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard me say that many times before, but this shows you really how big electric vehicle stocks are predicted to be. NIO, who sells about 50,000 vehicles per year, or at least as of last year, and hopefully they do sell about 100 to 150,000 by the end of this year, but at their current delivery rate of 50,000 vehicles in a single year, and NIO has a market cap of about $90 billion. Well, it might be lower now that their share price has kind of pulled back, but as of a couple weeks ago, they had a market cap of about $90 billion, ranking them number 3 behind Tesla and Toyota. So if that doesn't show you how big electric vehicle companies are going to be and how much anticipation there is around them, I don't really know what's going to convince you, because even Tesla is ranked number 1 and they don't deliver nearly the vehicles that a lot of traditional auto manufacturers do. It's really all about the hype and where people see these companies going in the future. And the last big reason why you should maybe consider adding shares is that the technicals underlying NIO really imply that their shares have bottomed. And I'm sure you guys know that technical analysis can be somewhat controversial, and some people look at stocks in a different way from other people, but in general, a lot of people would agree on the momentum and where the bottoms are of different stocks. And I think we're finally seeing a solid consolidation from NIO, and they're really more than likely going to bounce off the strong support line that they've been building up for a while. And this isn't the only time we've seen NIO at $50 and holding that position for an extended period of time. And this process of reversing course back into a long-term healthy uptrend is more than likely going to happen. And it's very possible that we see NIO gain much like they did in 2020. And as I've said before, I think NIO could get up to $100 by the end of the year, especially depending on what they do for deliveries. And now with the confirmation that they're expanding to Europe by the end of the year, not only is that going to increase customer acquisition for NIO, but it's going to garner a lot more investor interest. And there's going to be a lot more people hearing about NIO because they're expanding around the globe. They're no longer going to be just confined to China, and their brand is going to start getting out there, and they're going to have a lot more eyes on their company. And the more eyes you have, the bigger your company becomes because you get more customers. So it's just this endless cycle. As NIO expands, they're just going to grow more and more. And whether we see the effects immediately or whether they take a couple years, long term, NIO is going to really benefit from expanding outside of China. Now, I do think that NIO does have to establish a big position in China because China is the world's largest auto manufacturer, and China does also have a very aggressive agenda to support widespread electric vehicle adoption, because you guys probably know that China wants to get rid of gas-powered vehicles by 2035. And it's still hard to tell what China thinks of Tesla, because we know Tesla really is leading the way in China and all across the world in terms of electric vehicles. But there definitely are rumors and different people thinking that China wants to get rid of Tesla and get them out of China. Now, whether this is actually confirmed and whether China actually wants to get rid of Tesla, but we do know that the Chinese government really wants to support electric vehicle makers in China. So they are giving a lot of subsidies and a lot of benefits to these Chinese companies like NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto. And if NIO can really beef up their position in China and really acquire a lot more customers than they currently have, that's going to benefit them a lot more when they do expand to Europe and these other countries like Norway, for example. And then possibly in the next next handful of years or so, NIO may end up expanding to the US, but I'm sure by then they're really going to have established a big position in the EV industry, especially considering the position that they've really started building up, even though they are relatively new to the EV and the auto manufacturing business. Now, for those of you who actually made it this far into the video, I want to hear down in the comments if you guys are still adding shares of NIO to your portfolio, or if you're just holding shares and not adding anymore. So let me know down in the comments if you guys are still continually adding shares, and specifically if you added a lot more shares last week as NIO pulled back quite a substantial amount. Also, if you guys haven't signed up for Webull, make sure you guys sign up using the link in the description. And when you sign up and deposit $100, you'll actually get 2 free stocks. Now, this is a guaranteed return on your money, so make sure you guys don't miss out on this opportunity while it still lasts. And if you guys want to join the Discord and learn more about investing or just chat with like-minded people, you guys can join using the link in the description, or you can also use the top pinned comment down in the comment section. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one.